Greetings. I am Legacy Moon, and this is True Crime and Mysteries.
We already knew it, but the numbers prove it. The black hair care industry grosses $15 billion annually. There are more than 10,000 beauty supply stores nationwide. 96% of the revenues come from black consumers. But less than 3% of beauty supply stores are owned by African Americans. So why is it so hard for us to get a piece of the pie?
Welcome back, current subscribers. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Welcome if you're not subscribed, but you visit the channel frequently. And welcome to those of you who are here for the very first time. You are going to want to make sure that you share this video with family and friends. This right here is a travesty. We are talking about fraud in the black hair care system. We are going to be talking about the man right here that you see before you. His name is Devin Robinson, or Professor Devin Robinson. That's what he's called. I don't know if he's really some type of professor, but that is what he's called. He is the founder of the Beauty Supply Institute. And let me tell you, this Beauty Supply Institute is supposed to help other people, black people, get into the hair care business. Now, as we all know, weaves, extensions, you can get your hair braided, wigs, products, all of the things are found in beauty supply stores, and a lot of us go there, especially people who own salons or just people who do hair. And, if you may not have noticed, I will tell you what I've noticed. Most of these places are owned by the Koreans. Well, there's a reason for that, because the Koreans seem to have cornered the market on this black hair care thing and, the hair, the weaves and extensions. So that's who all the suppliers are. Well, Professor Devin Robinson wanted to change that. He, saw another way, and we're going to get into that in a moment. But let's talk about his credentials. Professor Devin Robinson has an Instagram page with over 3,000 followers. Now, for me, since he is this businessman and he helps other black businesses get into the hair care industry, I would expect that his profile would be public, but it's not. It's private. And I found that to be very interesting. So now, according to Professor Devin Robinson's Instagram page, he is an activist, an economist, a capitalist. He went to Oglethorpe University. I swear I practiced that and had it right originally when I was practicing. Anyhow, he went there from 2008 to 2014. He went to Southern Crescent Technical at between 2010 and 2016. Now, I see a little bit of overlap, and that's possible. People can go to two schools at once, but that's all I can say about that. He is the founder of the Urban Biz Institute, and he is also the founder of the Beauty Supply Institute. Now let's really get into it. The Beauty Supply Institute shows you how to become a successful beauty supply store owner. This is what they claim to do. The first thing that you are going to want to do is go on over to Amazon.com and look for his book, Taking It Back: How to Become a Successful Black Beauty Supply Store Owner. It's over there on that Amazon.com for $25.53. Now, what this book is going to do is it's going to give you a detailed description of how you can become successful in the Black beauty supply industry. It outlines budgets, contracts, formats, and operational plans to the most novice aspiring entrepreneur. It also depicts real-life examples from the practical and theoretic experiences of the author. Now, if you did not know, this book is the first of its kind, and it is sought after by many industry leaders from all cultures.
How Taking It Back came about, like I said, I had a salon here in Atlanta, on the west side of Atlanta, and I opened, before I got to that point, I went to a beauty supply store, Korean owned, and the owner followed me around with a golf club and threatened me and forced me to, hurry up and buy. What am I doing? I told him I'm browsing for my salon because I recently opened a salon and I wanted to get some products for my stylist, but he just wasn't buying it. So he threw me out, caught me in a good day because I left calmly, and went back and I thought about it and I said, you know what? If they're treating me, a professional in a community like this, they're probably treating the average person in our communities like this. So I sat back and I thought about it and I said, what am I going to do about it? Can I help be a solution to the problem? So what I did is I went out and started my first store with no stylist experience, no retail store experience, I had business management experience, but I just jumped in head first and started my first store. 6 months later, we opened our second location. 6 months after that, we opened our third location. Now, the success of those locations were not... The success of those locations were not because we were black owned. It was because we were running a good operation. That's one of the reasons for our success. So just to mimic and echo what you guys were saying, that how we need to get into this business and be successful at it. Now, one of the common stereotypes in America is the enemy of America is the progressive black person. Seems like every time we grab hold of something that will secure our futures, someone comes in and infiltrate it and take it away from us or distract us from it or whatever the case may be.
You may be asking yourself how this former professor of business and economics, as well as the author of books Power Move, which is a self-study guide in businessship, and book Blackpreneurship, got into this business of hair care supplies. Well, I am going to let him answer that for you. In an interview, Professor Devin Robinson speaks about his experience when he went searching for hair, and he talks about how the beauty supply industry is dominated by the Koreans. He also spoke about how he was able to slide in there. You see, once upon a time, he was also in the military. He's done so much. And he was stationed over in Korea. So he talked about how he started meeting with these distributors in order to get these beauty supplies. And he kind of broke the ice by mentioning Korean food and culture and things like that. And, he said their eyes just lit up when he did that. And this is how he was able to get into this industry as a supplier. Now, I will tell you that this professor, who seems to toot his own horn, he gives all of this advice and does all of these things because he wants people in the community to have stores by people from the community. Now I can tell you, I have been in beauty supply stores where they have followed me around, or they sit up at the register because there is a, those little circular mirror things they're up there. So they kind of watch you through that. And it's very uncomfortable, and frankly, it pisses me off. But, what can you do? Devin Robinson founded the Beauty Supply Institute so that other people, and by that I mean Black people, can get into the beauty supply store industry. He has all these tools and things that's going to help you out and establish you, kind of get you started in the business. Now, this is his mission, and this is what he says he does. However, the potential entrepreneurs who have gone through his program in order to open up a salon have sort of a difference of opinion.
Only on 11 Alive, a Metro Atlanta company promising to help Black people run their own beauty supply business is now leading some into bankruptcy instead.
Beauty Supply Institute has books, videos, and conferences to market its start-to-finish service. But 11 Alive investigator Rebecca Lindstrom received emails from nearly a dozen of you who say it's just not true.
This is supposed to be a beauty supply store. Even though Pauline McLaurin signed the lease 10 months ago, the shelving sits unassembled on the floor and there are no products to sell.
Once you have all the product and all the inventory, they come out within 2-3 days, they build everything and they put everything how it should be displayed.
Paul McLaurin is referring to BSI, Beauty Supply Institute, a company headquartered here in Atlanta. The company promotes Black business ownership, making dreams a reality by helping clients get their store open from start to finish.
I can invest into this person that has all the knowledge, has all the connections.
But 3 years after McLaurin signed the contract, she is stuck paying rent on a store in Florida that is missing the actual products. And she is not alone.
How many of you have spent more than $50,000 trying to get your store open? Absolutely everybody.
11 Alive Investigates talked with 10 other people from across the country that signed contracts with BSI. They, too, are waiting on their products.
Basically, their responses to everything is, I don't know.
They give like vague answers. Nobody knows anything.
The distributor is on back order.
After calling, sending an email, and a visit to each of BSI's Metro Atlanta locations, the company founder, Devin Robinson, agreed to talk with us. But we were only allowed to record the audio of that conversation.
It is not all on us, and none of it is a nefarious act. Like, it's business.
Robinson told us his company simply grew too fast for demand.
We had to implement new technology. We just had to do certain things to be able to handle certain scaling.
Robinson says it can take a year after a store is ready to get a team out to set it up with products. But these customers say that is too long.
I was borrowing money from right to left so I can keep my store. I was calling them every single day with tears, crying.
We're barely making it. I'm just being honest. We're barely making it.
We've exhausted everything with BSI.
We shared those frustrations with Robinson.
That is a very hurtful thing for me.
And for them.
Yeah.
McLaurin says it's incredibly hurtful to her.
And it's been devastating. I mean, honestly, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to stay happy because I have too many kids to not.
McLaurin says she has spent more than $125,000 to get her store open. About $50,000 of that for products that have yet to come.
I can't keep living like this. I need to know, am I going to have a store or am I not going to have a store?
The Attorney General's office wouldn't tell us how many complaints it had received about BSI, but they are part of a pending investigation. Rebecca spoke with several people who are struggling with the company. You can hear from them yourself by watching our group interview. You can find it on this store, inside this story online at 11alive.com/investigates.
Before I continue, just before I showed that clip, I said beauty salon, and I meant beauty supply. But anyway, now, Professor Devin Robinson finds it very hurtful what these people are saying about him. And I can imagine that these people are very hurt and struggling right now because they're having to try to, some of them are paying rent on the store because they don't want it to fall in default, and they're struggling to pay other bills. There's so much going on with these people who wanted to just simply open up their own business. And they went through this Beauty Supply Institute that supposedly is like the gateway to help people get into that industry. I find it interesting that he is going with the excuse that his company just grew too fast and he couldn't meet all of the demands. Well, here's the thing. If you think things are going awry, don't allow all of these new entrepreneurs looking forward to opening their business, don't allow them to come through the Institute. Have a wait list, do something so that people who have already invested are able to stock their stores, which is what you are supposed to be doing, and, let them move on and then perhaps take on some more people. However, I'm not buying it. He started this in 2009. Therefore, it's 2024. Some of these people's complaints are from 2019 and probably some earlier. But so I just think that that's just an excuse, and a poor one at that.
We met Calla Johnson at Certified to be Natural. Her Atlanta salon focused on healthy hair.
Even if you don't have buildup, you can still have inflammation.
The idea was to extend hair services into hair products with her own beauty supply store. She started the process about 10 years ago with a class through Beauty Supply Institute, or BSI.
I went through the program and got a certificate of completion.
But to actually open her store, she knew she'd need more money. BSI said it could help with that, too.
And did you ever get the funding?
Never got the funding, never.
Which that's what broke my heart when I saw the news interview there.
Keno Smith says he was hired by a BSI sister company to find lenders for people like Johnson. He was only on the job for 10 days. That's because the company says he struggled with comprehending the overarching requirements. Smith says he understood them, he just didn't agree.
There was a constant badgering to get the money initially, and a constant lack of concern in their responses once they had the clients, money.
BSI says it's successfully built 227 stores in the past 20 years, but we talked with more than a dozen entrepreneurs who say they paid for consulting services years ago with only empty shelves, debt, and high-interest loans to show for it now. Smith recounts his conversations with the company owner, Devin Robinson.
He said, I need money right now. That's what he kept saying to me.
Not how you can help the entrepreneurs who
Right.
are purchasing his service.
Right.
How can you help him out?
Right.
11 Alive Investigates found ads like this one, guaranteed loans, even for those with low credit scores. Johnson says for her, it never came true. So instead of success, she equates BSI with
destroying dreams, robbing people of hope.
For months, clients say they were told their products were on back order, even though receipts show payments going to DeRobis Enterprises, a company owned by Devin Robinson, who is also the CEO of BSI. In a written statement, BSI says that's just one of many vendors it uses, and that the real delays stem from rapid growth, much deserved after many years of invested hard work, diligence, superior customer service, and consistent good products. While BSI says it's working to make situations right for customers impacted, at least one client was told her store opening was now delayed because of negative media publicity.
Now they're strapped with this debt, and they have no way of recouping their money because they have no business.
Well, BSI says it has provided refunds and delivered shipments since our initial story. It is unclear to whom. Clients continue to copy 11 Alive Investigates on distressed emails to the company begging for help. Johnson says she is determined to make her online beauty supply store a brick-and-mortar reality, but she will do it without BSI.
That is my dream. Was and still is my dream.
Rebecca Lindstrom, 11 Alive investigates.
Instead of giving supplies to people who have gone through the Beauty Supply Institute, Professor Devin Robinson is giving excuses, excuses, excuses. After researching and getting all of this information about the Beauty Supply Institute, I have come to the conclusion that Devin Robinson just didn't care. He saw an opportunity. He knows that black hair care is a booming business, and he found a way to get in so that he can become a supplier and then open up this Beauty Supply Institute that is going to help other black people become owners of beauty supply stores. He took that opening and, you could say he got in over his head or, whatever. But at the end of the day, people are suffering because of his business practices. I started this journey on researching the Beauty Supply Institute because I saw a news report that was included in this video earlier, as well as something I saw from the Shade Room. They were talking about, basically these people feel as though they've been scammed by Devin Robinson. And I can understand them. So I came across that. And the first thing I wanted to do was find out what the Beauty Supply Institute was. And that's what I did. And that's how I got all into this stuff. So one of the things I found was his BBB complaints. Now, if you give me a moment, I'd like to read one of these complaints as well as the response. Before I read the complaint, I want to let you know that the Beauty Supply Institute is not Better Business Bureau accredited. Now, bear with me as I read this complaint and try not to struggle read it because I'm telling you. But anyway, it says, I signed a contract with BSI on 8/1/2022 and paid $70,300, of which $22,500 was their consulting fee, including the setup of my store. $2,800 broker's fee, and the balance to buy my inventory. They sent me to a predatory lender named Toro to get funding. Toro applied for numerous credit cards in my name and charged 10% of the total loan amount. Once the credit cards were received, I called, and they have that company blanked out, as instructed, and gave her the card numbers, which she maxed out to supposedly pay for my inventory. They claim they take the money off the credit cards and put it in a holding account to buy your inventory once your space is ready to receive orders. I signed the lease for my store on 2/17/2023 through their lease negotiation service that I paid for. My space was ready for order in April 2023. As of today, March the 12th, 2024, I have not received one single inventory item, but slate walls, gondolas, showcases, and 64 mannequin heads, and not 65. So I guess she was supposed to receive 65. I started paying rent on the empty space in July 2023, which they were well aware of, but that could not. Let me start that sentence over again. I started paying rent on the empty space in July 2023, which they were well aware of, but could not care less. Every attempt to get information about my inventory was met with resistance, utter disrespect, rudeness, and the vendors are on back order due to the pandemic. Nonsense. The same vendors they still claim are on back order were contacting me weekly to purchase inventory from them and had everything in stock. I was able to buy it's blanked out again, of God, to open in December 2023. No thanks to BSI. They are clearly in violation of the contract and also in violation of a consent order issued against them in my state of residence, preventing them from conducting business here back in 2022. You know what? I keep saying 2000 and I need to be saying 2020. I am so sorry. I need my money back, plus interest and all the fees I'm still having to pay on a monthly basis on these loans. I need proof that they had my money in a holding account and that the vendors were on back order. They're clearly running fraudulent business and need to be looked into. The list of victims they made is unbelievably very long. Now I'm going to read the Beauty Supply Institute's response. They state, we have been in business with full-time staff since 2008. In that time, we've trained thousands of entrepreneurs, negotiated almost blank commercial leases, and opened hundreds of brick and mortar stores. What we do is difficult and often difficult for our clients to handle. This is because 90% of our clients are new to entrepreneurship, while 98% of those are new to brick and mortar ownership. The process is difficult for a budding entrepreneur. Often they don't understand supply chain management, a layered process, or brick and mortar incubation. We try our best to get them ready for it, but it doesn't always hit the mark. Many entrepreneurs do not understand the other side of the point of sale counter. They don't understand the need to be patient, flexible, resilient, tenacious, and strategic. As a customer, those things aren't required. Customers don't know what it took for the business to get that product on the shelf. They just go into the store and buy it. In addition, they can simply go across the street to a competitor for what they need if the business they are trying to shop with doesn't have the items they are looking for. The road to retail business ownership, physically, financially, and ideally, is not a sprint. It's a marathon that requires much mental transformation and perspective shifting, which often takes time. We try our best to groom our clients through it. In our business, we must act in the best interest of our clients, all clients. Acting in their best interest also means running our business in a way that ensures we will be around for other entrepreneurs in the future who need us. We have policies and procedures in place for reasons that allow our clients to benefit from working with us in ways they would not benefit from is working on their own. That was a tongue twister. These benefits include relationships with vendors, lenders, and more. It requires us to abide by our policies. Our partners would no longer participate in aiding us in assisting our clients, which could be determined to the benefits of our clients. Unfortunately, Many of our clients don't see it that way. They often prefer us to solely focus on their needs, even if it's done in a way that damages our ability to help future clients. But we cannot. It's responsible, and we understand. It's irresponsible, and we understand this. Sometimes it makes clients unhappy. Our business is not typical. Our clients know that. What is required to be successful at it? Our clients are taught that. Do they always have the capacity to handle that? We understand that. As it relates to this client, they are still active and under agreement. The company filed the necessary paperwork to continue to be able to assist clients whom reach out to us from, that's blank. This client is also still an active addressed outside of this forum. Any checks into our other clients will be met with those who are opened and running their business using the model we started with them, as well as tapping into the in-depth knowledge we provide them with through our academy training. Whew, that was a tough one. I find it interesting that this response has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs. So out of 9 paragraphs, 8 of them talks about the Institute and pretty much what they do, and me, oh my, excuses as far as I'm concerned. And then it's just the last paragraph out of 9 paragraphs. It's the last one that focuses on the complaint. I mean, I just don't even know what to say about that. There happen to be multiple complaints, and I'm not going to read them all, because when you're trying to read other people's grammar, I sometimes find myself wanting to correct it as I'm reading, and that doesn't necessarily work. So I just wanted to read one complaint and the response to the complaint, just to give you an idea of what's going on. I know you've already heard from other people in this video, but I just wanted to get into a complaint. Entrepreneurship for Black people is hard enough as it is. And here you have this man who holds himself out to be a professor, an activist, an economist, a capitalist, college educated, founder of the Urban Biz Institute, and founder of the Beauty Supply Institute, as well as an author of books that will help you in your entrepreneurship. And he is pretty much playing in the people's faces. What he says is not giving what it's supposed to give. I myself may not be an entrepreneur expert, but seems to me like if you already have clients and you're not meeting their demands and fulfilling what their contract says you would fulfill, you shouldn't be taking on new clients and helping them. As I said before, it's given excuses. I thank you for listening. And once again, I am Legacy Moon. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, child, what are you waiting for? Go on up there, hit that subscribe button, and tap the notification bell so that you know the next time I drop a new video. And make sure you share this. Tell a friend, tell a foe, tell everybody. Let them know Legacy Moon is on YouTube. And finally, you know what I do? I always ask you, please make sure you thumbs up the video, because I want to be in the algorithm nation.